How's it going, Top Forest TV? My name is Jack. I'm welcome to my preview of Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest, taking place at the Etihad Stadium. So yeah, look, probably the hardest game of the season. Manchester City, as you all know, I don't need to remind you, but Manchester City are an absolutely sensational footballing side. I mean, an unbelievable team. Last season winning almost everything in their way, barring the League Cup. But look, we've come a long way since that last game at the Etihad that we played when, the start of last season when we lost 6-0, Haaland ran absolute riot. We've come a long way since then, so we can take that into account. I don't think, we've come a long way enough to be like, we go to the Etihad and we expect to, get a point or whatever. I don't think that's necessarily realistic, but you never know. Man City might have one of those days. You look at maybe Everton at the Etihad last season. They managed to pick up a draw, and Haaland couldn't really get the better of Ben Godfrey. Maybe today that might be a situation that occurs for a Forest player who manages to shut down Erling Haaland. I very much doubt that, because Haaland is probably the best striker in the world on current form. But, look, we're not going to go into this game expecting a drubbing like we had in the last one. I think it'll be closer than that. Again, I'm not being pessimistic, really. I'm just being kind of realistic. I don't expect us to get anything from this game, but I'm looking at it and thinking, look, it's gonna be a game that's gonna show just how much we've improved, because we go from last season, a very poor performance, if you will. It was one of those ones where our strikers probably saw the ball on 2 occasions in the whole game. I think they had Gibbs, White, and Johnson up front, and it just didn't quite work. We were having to defend for majority of the match, if you remember, and it just wasn't a good performance from us, all things considered. So, look, we're a lot better than that now. That time last season, we were sort of a bunch of players just thrown together trying to gel. Cooper was trying to find his best 11 and try different things, experiment a little bit. So, there was that we had to contend with as well. And obviously Man City were just devastating. João Cancelo, I remember back when he was at City, putting in an incredible Trivela cross with the outside of his boot for Haaland, I think it was. So, they are an excellent side, and we will struggle, don't get me wrong. I think Jeremy Doku, I was speaking to my cousin who supports Man City. It's quite ironic, well, not ironic, but it's his birthday today, and for us to play Man City, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, look, they've got some excellent players that they brought in. Jeremy Doku, like I said, I was talking to my cousin, and then when Mahrez left, I actually said Doku's the one that you should be looking to get. He absolutely ripped us up in that pre-season friendly. So, look, I've lost complete track of what I was going to say. Let me start again. Jeremy Doku, yeah, he was brilliant against us, so I recommended him to my cousin, and maybe Pep Guardiola had somewhere listed, I don't know. But Jeremy Doku came in, and he looked really, really good against West Ham. He looked like a sort of a bit more of an old school winger who's not afraid to take on his man one-on-one, square him up, go round the outside, get a ball in, or go round the outside and try and get into the box. A lot of the wingers these days, you look at Jack Grealish at Man City, he gets the ball, he keeps it moving, he drives at the defence, then plays a pass to keep things going. You look at someone like Doku, he's not afraid to be direct and run at the defence and put them on the back foot, and that's something that we're going to have to look at, depending on who plays in that right back position. For me, I wouldn't probably start Montiel, because he didn't look very good against Burnley, so, how's that going to correlate to playing against Manchester City? It might just be sort of first start nerves for him or whatever, I don't know, but look, for me, I wouldn't potentially start Montiel, but I think whoever's going to be playing up against Doku is going to have an absolute handful today. So it'll be interesting to see sort of how Cooper looks to navigate that. Obviously, I don't need to talk about him too much. I've already mentioned him, but Erling Haaland, we're going to have to try and keep him as quiet as we can. It's going to be pretty much impossible, but we will try our best, I'm sure. He's an excellent player, brilliant. He literally, that guy looks like he's been built in a lab. He's got the physicality, the height, the power on his shots, the precision. He knows exactly where to be in the box. the control sometimes it maybe lacks a little bit with the first touch. You often see him having to stretch for the second touch, but that bloke is genuinely insane. And yeah, we're gonna have to keep 2-3 players on him if we want to try and keep him quiet. But yeah, they're an excellent side, Man City, and I don't need to go into too much detail on that because I think everybody knows just how good they are. Rodri, I think Rodri's incredible. He's such a good player. He doesn't just chip in with defensive work. He scores big goals as well, Champions League final winners. So, that's one thing, anyone who's going today can't sing Champions of Europe, you would never sing that because unfortunately, they actually are the champions of Europe. So, yeah, that's a shame. But, we move on. In terms of the Forest lineup then, I'll go with Turner in goal. Don't see a reason to change him. Thought he played quite well against Burnley. A back, I'd probably go back 5, but it looks like Cooper's attempted a back 4 against Burnley, so he might be looking to do that again today. I'll go as if he's playing a back 4, and we'll go from there. I would have right back, I'd probably have Ola Aina. I think he was exceptional against Burnley. So I'd stick him there. I think he'll be able to do a good job against Aina. The 2 centre-halves, it might be Worrell and McKenna, depending on fitness. I'd be happy with Worrell. I wouldn't really be too happy with McKenna. I've mentioned that before, so I don't want to get into it too much. But hopefully we could go. I'd love to see Bolly and Niakate under my perfect duo, but I don't think that they're both able to play. Left back, Nuno Tavares looked pretty decent when he came off the bench against Burnley. Midfield 2, I'd have Sangare and Mangala. I think they worked really well against Burnley. In front of them, I'd have MGW, Morgan Gibbs-White. Left, I'd have Callum Hudson-Odoi. On the right, I'd have Anthony Elanga. And through the middle, the main man, Taiwo Awoniyi. So if I had to go with a scoreline, I'd probably go 3-1 Man City, but hopefully we can eke out a cheeky little 2-1 and stun the Premier League. So yeah, if you did enjoy, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new around here and you do enjoy the content you're seeing. Comment down below what you think of the game, who you think should start, predictions, all of that good stuff. And come on, you Reds.